Okay, guys, it's a few days later, and excuse my appearance, but I haven't been able to go through the footage that I've already recorded for upload. I didn't even put it on the computer as of yet to edit it. But I know that I feel dissatisfied with what I have already recorded because I keep thinking there's more that I need to say, or I didn't say it as articulately or the way I wanted to say it. I didn't say everything I needed to say. So I wanted to just record some more footage, and I don't have time to put in contacts and put on eyelashes. Listen, if I take the time to do that, this footage is not going to get recorded. So here it goes. What I wanted to say is this. From my experience, major depressive disorder is not something you can think yourself out of. It's not something you can negotiate yourself out of or walk off. Yes, walking will be beneficial, but if you're in a debilitated state, major depressive disorder is debilitating, where it, for me, takes me out of commission completely. And doing anything at all takes an arduous effort, like a real uphill battle. And if it wasn't for my son, I don't think anything would have gotten me out of the bed many days. So what I'm trying to say is, had I not acknowledged the severity of depression, had I kept doing what I was trained to do, or culturally, it's not accepted that, well, from my culture and many cultures, it's not accepted that depression can be as severe as my depression has been, because it's as if saying, okay, the depression it's controlling my life, it's taking over my life, and I cannot live because of it. It's stopping me, it's hindering me from being progressive, it's hindering me from being productive, it's hindering me from doing simple day-to-day activities, personal hygiene, cleaning, cooking. I feel motivated to do none of those things. All I want to do is lay in the bed. And while I was in denial, while I was feeling shame and guilt, or thinking it's a sign of weakness to say that my depression was as severe as it was, that was actually a self-defeatist attitude, because until I was able to acknowledge that, listen, this depression is really, really taking over my life, I was putting it on a back burner, like, okay, I know I'm going to talk my way out of this. I can do this. I know I can do this. And then I would get on the phone with my mother, and she would say, it's nothing big. It's depression. It's not supposed to. And I felt like if I admitted how severe it was, then I would be accepting weakness, or saying I'm weak and it's a character flaw. Of course, I'm not weak. I'm strong. I'm Jamaican. Depression can't rule me. But in reality, it was kicking my ass. So for that reason, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing again. For that reason, that is why I wanted to put an emphasis on why I know how important it is to acknowledge the impact that depression has on your life. And because until you acknowledge all of the symptoms, everything that comes with depression, in my opinion, how can you address these things? How can you say, well, these things that are happening in my life are not a character defect. It's not me. It's not a character flaw. These are the symptoms of depression. These are the things that I have to deal with as a person who suffers with major depressive disorder. And no, it doesn't mean that I'm weak. It means that I have a mental illness, and it means that I have to do things to address these things that I realize. And I am so happy that I was able to acknowledge these things, because it gave me my why. I am a person that I always need a why. I'm the person that when something happens, I'm like, well, why? Why is it happening? Why is people doing that? Why am I eating when I don't want to? Because I need to comfort myself. Why is it hard for me to just get up and do regular activities? Well, because I'm suffering from major depressive disorder. And yes, I have to admit that it's the depression that is having this impact on my life. And I can't keep saying to myself, I can do this. I can get over this. I can solve this on my own, because I can't. In saying that I can solve this on my own, I won't give myself the opportunity to go and get the help that is necessary in order to get me from this state to managing my depression, because that's what I want to do. I'm always going to live with major depressive disorder, but what's different is it's not always going to control my life. But until I accept that it is very powerful, it's a powerful thing in my life that I have to deal with, and it's capable of debilitating me and making me incapable of progressing or being productive. Until I admit that I do need help, I do have to focus on it, until I admit that, until I acknowledge that, admitting the impact that it has on me isn't a sign of weakness, and until I'm compassionate with myself, I won't be able to manage it, not successfully. It will be as it has been for me for the past 2 decades. I have wasted because I was too worried about what people thought or how I would look if I admitted the severity of my depression. And it has stagnated my progress. It has stagnated my progress because I refused to acknowledge. I kept saying, no, I can do this on my own. I don't need medication. I don't need anything. I'm stronger than this. I'm a strong person. But even as a strong individual, depression stopped me, knocked me on my ass, and kept me in the bed. And I am 430 pounds because of it. And that I had admitted earlier on in my life the severity of it, I feel 99.9%. I think I know that I would have progressed further because I would have did what I know that I needed to do. I would have dealt with depression the way I should have. Would have given it top priority and fought it like I should have, because I know that is required in order to manage depression successfully when it is severe. One must acknowledge the severity of its impact and address it head on. Fight daily to make sure it doesn't control my life. Fight daily to make sure it doesn't control your life, because it can and it will. If you tell yourself that, admitting that it's causing such a havoc of your life, it will then take over your life. And it's not okay to do that. It's not okay for me anymore. And I am not weak because of it. And I need to forgive myself because I feel shame and guilt all those years for feeling like it was a character flaw. 1, all the things that I was dealing with because of my depression. And 2, now I have to forgive myself for not admitting earlier, because I know better than that. So yes, forgiveness is a very big part of the progress, a part of the process of making progress. But I think the first step towards dealing with depression effectively is to admit how it is affecting your life. All right. So let me just say this caveat. There's going to be different looks. I'm going to have my eye done in some of the loads, some of the footage, and then in some of it, I'm going to look a mess. But I needed to come on and say this because I think it's important. And now I can go ahead and do my upload, because that's the reason why I didn't post another video, because I felt like I didn't say what I wanted to say. I wasn't coherent. I didn't feel like I said clearly what I wanted to say. So I had to come on, and now I have to do a lot of editing because, you know, it takes an effort to be a YouTuber. Let me tell you, it's not easy. I said all that to say, in order to better manage my depression, I had to acknowledge the full weight of it and how it manifested itself in my life so that I can address these issues and these symptoms and deal with them. Acknowledging the full weight of depression and how it's manifesting in my life gave me the ability to move on. It gave me my why. And I'm very glad I did. So I believe the very first step, this is why I feel so liberated, because I wish I had known this. I wish I had done this so long ago. And I know that it's not just in Jamaican communities, it's in Black communities. I do see a therapist. I'm trying to get another therapist because the one I'm currently seeing, it's not really my therapist, it's my son's therapist. And I need to get my own. And I moved from all right, I don't want to go off in a tangent, but yeah, therapy, venting. Okay, let me say this too. All right, you know what? I'm going to save that for the next upload. So yeah, so the first step in managing my depression, I realized that I have to acknowledge the gravity of my depression and the full weight of it and how it's impacting in my life, how it's manifested. The full weight of it and how it's impacted my life, how it is manifesting, so that I am able to address it and move forward. That's the first step. I have to be able to better organize what I have to say. I realize that now, and I have a lot more to say, but it's not going to be in this upload because I don't want to bore you guys. So listen, if you are here again at this point, I want to say thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button and push that notification bell. And I will see you in my next upload. I'm feeling good. Making improvements. All right. Go me. Go me. Go me. It's not your birthday, but go anyway. Go me.